Dr. Lee is a valuable asset. If any harm comes to her, I'm holding you responsible.
I've checked and rechecked everything. I think the signal interceptor's ready to go. Are you?
Let's do this.
All right. Head up onto the platform and we'll see if I can find a signal to lock onto. The device doesn't work from over there. You have to be on the platform. Let's see. Relays dialed in. Beam emitters warmed up. Everything looks green. Let me start scanning for the signal. Cross your fingers. I'm inputting the code now. Wow, there's a heck of a lot of interference and ghosting. It's gonna take a minute or two to lock in. By the way, this little trip you're taking is a heck of an opportunity to find out as much as we can about the Institute and what they're up to. I put a clever little program on this holotape that'll scan their network and download anything it finds. If you place it in any terminal down there, it'll do the rest. Bring it back to me and I'll see if I can make sense of whatever it found. Well, well, looks like we have a winner. RF wave capture complete. Ramping the emitter. 60%, 80%. Emitter spiking but steady. All that's left is to throw the transmit switch. Transmitting in 3, 2, 1. Stay safe, soldier.
I wondered if you might make it here. You're quite resourceful. I'm known as Father. The Institute is under my guidance. I know why you're here. I'd like to discuss things with you face to face.
No use.
Please, step into the elevator. I can only imagine what you've heard, what you think of us. I'd like to show you that you may have the wrong impression. Welcome to the Institute. This is the reality of the Institute. This place, these people, the work we do. For over 100 years, we've dedicated ourselves to humanity's survival. Decades of research, countless experiments and trials, a shared vision of how science can help shape the future. It has never been easy, and our actions are often misinterpreted by those above ground. Someday, perhaps, we can show them what we've accomplished. But for now, we must remain underground. There's too much at stake here to risk it all. As you've seen, things above are unstable. I'd like to talk to you about what we can do for everyone. But that can wait. You are here for a specific, very personal reason. You are here. None.
Don't have the key. No way to pick this. stuck. We need the key. Can't pick this. Only opens with a key. Need the key. Don't have the key. No way to pick this. Can't pick this. Useless. Only opens with a key. Would need the key. Can't pick this.
Huh? Yes, I'm Sean.
Sean. Oh my god. It's really you.
Who are you?
Sean. It's me. I'm your dad.
Father, what's going on? What's happening?
Yes, it's me. Your dad. I'm here, Sean.
What's going on? Father? Father!
Shh. It'll be okay, Sean. I'm here now.
I don't know you. Go away. Father! Father, help me! There's someone here, help me!
Damn it. Sean! Open the door!
Father? Father, help me! He's trying to take me! Father? Father, help me!
Sean. S923, recall code Cirrus. Fascinating, but disappointing. The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand. We're only just now beginning to explore the effects of extreme emotional stimuli. Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are emotional, and that your journey here has been fraught with challenges. Let's start anew. I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
Give me Sean. The real Sean. Right now!
I know. You've gone to such lengths to find him.
I'll make this very simple. Where is my son?
He's here, in the Institute. Closer than you think. But I need you to realize that this situation is far more complicated than you could have imagined. You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity and dedication have been rewarded. It's good to finally meet you, after all this time. It's me. I am Sean. I am your son.
Bullshit.
Is it? After all the things you've seen and experienced in the Commonwealth? Think about it. In the vault, you had no concept of the passage of time. You were released from your pod and went searching for the son you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. You believed that 10 years had passed. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10, but 60 years? That is the reality, and here I am, raised by the Institute, and now its leader.
It wasn't right, what they did. Taking you from me like that.
To you, that would certainly seem true. But to the Institute, it made all the sense in the world. At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production. But it was never enough. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate, capable of anything.
So the weird science experiments needed specimens. That's why they took you.
In a manner of speaking. Yes. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. Plenty of that was even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above. Members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me, after discovering records from Vault 111. An infant, frozen in time, protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had crept into every other human cell in the Commonwealth. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics used to create every human-like synth you see today. I am their father. Through science, we are family. The synths, me, and you.
Sean. It's really you.
It really is. I know you must have questions. Please. Anything I can do to help you understand.
So you're in charge of the Institute?
I am the acting director, yes. I spent decades working to reach this point. It's a responsibility I take very seriously. The Institute. It's important. It really is humanity's best hope for the future, no matter what those above ground might think of us.
They need your help, Sean. It's rough up there, to say the least.
Oh, we've tried that. Surprised? The Institute once tried to help create a stabilized Commonwealth government. It ended in bickering, infighting. It was a disaster. No. We look after our own now. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has nothing to fear from us. Whatever you've seen or heard, I know I can convince you of that. Just give me time. What else can I say to ease your mind?
Kellogg. He worked for you?
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
You knew the man was a psychopath, but you used him anyway?
I don't expect you to understand or agree with the decision. The Institute took advantage of Kellogg's vicious nature. I will freely admit that. Institute technology prolonged his life, and his usefulness far beyond any normal human lifespan. He never failed the Institute, but his cruelty became more apparent with every completed objective. I won't lie. It's no coincidence your path crossed his. It seemed a fitting way to allow you, us, to have some amount of revenge. What else can I say to ease your mind?
Kellogg.
Kellogg. It wasn't.
He was a murderer. He killed your mother.
Believe me, I am well aware of the atrocity. The Institute technology prolonged his life, and
Whatever.
he never failed the Institute. I won't lie. It's no coincidence you're... What else can I say to ease your mind?
Your mother. She never got to see you grow up.
Yes. What happened to her was... I've gone over the records of the incident, of course. It seems her death was an unfortunate bit of collateral damage.
Collateral damage? Is that all she was to you?
I forget that it's been such a short time for you. I don't have any direct memories. And I've had my entire life to cope with the loss. Has it always been easy? Of course not. But I've done my best to move on and live my life. For many years, I never questioned who my parents were. I accepted my situation, and that was that. With old age comes regret. And asking what if more often. But what matters now is that you and I have a chance to begin again. I know there's more for us to discuss. But the Institute is on the verge of some important breakthroughs. Your presence would be appreciated as we approach them. I've been a part of something amazing here. I've helped to build a life for myself and the people of the Institute. And now, after all these years, you have an opportunity to help with that. Doesn't that intrigue you? Isn't that what you want?
I won't be a part of this. I can't.
Why? Because of the reputation of the Institute. The Institute can provide a better life than anything above ground. You've been in the Commonwealth. You've seen what it's like. I assure you that you are better off with us.
Things are pretty terrible up there.
I've seen it myself. I know. That is why we are so committed to creating a better life for ourselves here. And it's a life that you can now be part of. I simply ask that you give the Institute, me, a chance. A chance to show you what I've been telling you. We really do have humanity's best interest at heart. Will you take that chance?
I'm sorry. I can't do that.
I'm sorry to hear that. I had certainly hoped we could work together. But every man must make his own decisions. If you choose to leave, I cannot force you to stay. Understand, though, that I cannot allow you to remain within the Institute. You may have safe passage back to the relay, where you will be sent back to the surface. But from that point, you must be considered hostile. I am sorry. I must think first of the safety of the Institute. And in the cruel world that has developed, those who are not with us are against us. The elevator will return you to the relay.
Go.
Have you reconsidered?
Broken. Jammed.
Lancer Captain Kells has informed me that the Institute's on high alert, and you're to blame. Explain yourself, Knight.
The Institute is the enemy. I was simply doing my duty.
Your duty is to follow my orders to the letter, Knight. Your instructions were clear. You were to infiltrate the Institute, find Dr. Lee, and convince her to return to the Brotherhood. I'm extremely disappointed in you, Knight.
I don't know what to say, Elder.
Perhaps you should begin acting like a soldier, and take responsibility for your actions. Fortunately, this incident doesn't change our current strategy. We have a contingency plan that's already being put into effect that should ensure completion of our special project. Now, I believe you still possess an important piece of data that Proctor Ingram is eagerly awaiting. I want you to bring it to her immediately. And Knight, don't disappoint me again. Dismissed.
Attention. Tomorrow's tactical briefing has been postponed. A new time and date will be forthcoming.
Please state the nature of your medical emergency.
Knight, you have technical documents.
I found some technical documents for you.
These will prove interesting. I'll file them immediately. Here are the caps that I promised. Remember, the Commonwealth is an almost unlimited check every bill.
Now that we have intelligence on the Institute, we can use it against them to gain the upper hand.
I'm proud to be serving under Elder Maxson. Had enough of lying and his foolish ways. No matter how many battles we win, there's always another fight ahead of us.
Greetings, Knight.
Proctor,
You looking to pick a fight? I'll help you end it.
let me see what you have.
All of them.
By Elder Maxson's orders, all technology.
Here's your...
Everyone's waiting for you to bring that holotape back. Don't let us down. Thanks. You know, it's good to see you're still in one piece. I wasn't sure what the Interceptor would do to you.
I wasn't worried. After all, I built the device myself.
I have confidence in everything I built too. But that's because I'll only deal with technology that I understand. Speaking of technology I don't understand, I'll get this holotape to Proctor Quinlan. I'm dying to find out what's on it.
Hopefully, it'll reveal a weakness in their defenses.
That would be the best case scenario. Before we jump to conclusions, let's see what Quinlan's scribes can get off of it. I'm sure the Institute has all of their data heavily encrypted, so it's gonna take some time to crack. After that, we'll have to see what we've got. There's no telling what we might have grabbed off their mainframe. In the meantime, I've got a new assignment for you. So, I bet you're eager to get your hands dirty on our new project. How much has Maxon told you about it?
Why all the secrecy?
We're pouring every resource we have into this thing. We can't risk tipping off the Institute. For now, the fewer people that know about it, the better. Come on, it's this way. Unless you're blind as a bat, I'm sure you've noticed that we've been building a gantry on the tarmac. Maxon and Kells have been looking for something that'll tip the balance when we go toe-to-toe with the Institute. Now, the Prydwen might be a big beast, but she's not built for fighting. That's where our new project comes in. This storage bay full of parts is what's left of Liberty Prime. The Brotherhood used it in the Capital Wasteland as a weapon against the Enclave. It's the most advanced robot the Brotherhood has ever had at its disposal. Unfortunately, Liberty Prime was destroyed in the line of duty. I've spent the better part of the last few years piecing him back together. And if you think that was easy, try rebuilding a Protectron while you're blindfolded.
Proctor.
In order to get Liberty Prime fully operational, we're going to need your help.
No problem. I'm sure this only looks worse than it actually is.
I wish I had your confidence, because this is not going to be easy. Now, the good news is that we've got most of Prime's parts fully assembled. The bad news is that it's going to take more than a few rivets and some spot welding to get them working again. The first problem is his CPU. It's fragile, and every time we try to feed power to it, it blows itself out.
I assume you can fix that?
I wish it was that simple. If this happened to one of the robots on the Prydwen, I'd just swap out its fusion pile. As much as I hate to admit it, Prime's power systems are out of my league. What we need is a robotics expert, and there's someone in Diamond City that fits the bill. Her name's Professor Skara. Locals say she's a wizard when it comes to fixing robots. Why don't you head over there and see if you can talk her into helping us? Oh, and take this with you. Once she sees one of those Cerebro fusion adapters, I'm pretty sure she'll have a tough time saying no. In the meantime, I'll prep Prime's CPU and we'll see if we can't get the big guy moving.
Oh, it's you. If you brought any bloatfly glands, why don't you just bring them back later? I'm not in the mood to deal with it right now.
If something's wrong, maybe I can help.
It's my colleague, Professor Skara. Her normal field expeditions never last more than a few days, but it's been over a week now. I'm afraid something terrible has happened to her.
That doesn't bode well. She could be in trouble.
Do you know where she went?
Well, I don't usually like to pry into her business, but I found some notes on her terminal. The last place Professor Skara said she was going is the General Atomics Galleria. I'll mark it on your mapping device. There. Look, if you find her, could you tell her to come home?
General Atomics Galleria remains closed by order of the Director.
Did you have any other questions?
All employees, report suspicious behavior to the Director immediately!
Coming. Now I have to...
Good work. Don't leave anything behind.
Excuse me, but this is a private research site. If you're here to study these robots, I'll have to insist you relocate to somewhere else.
Actually, I was looking for you.
Oh, well, that puts an entirely different spin on everything, doesn't it? My name's Professor Skara, and in answer to what I expect to be your next question, Professor is my first name, not my title. The whole thing's rather complicated. Perhaps I'll explain it to you sometime.
I'm certain that would be an interesting tale.
So, now that I've formally introduced myself, perhaps you'd care to tell me why you're here.
Did you know Dr. Duff was looking for you? She's very worried.
Oh, not this again. Time after time, I've asked Dr. Duff to join me on these trips, but she insists on staying behind in case anyone requires a biology lesson. Then, when I return after being gone for more than a few days, she scolds me as if I'm a child. I swear, that woman acts as though we're married. Obviously, you're not here to bring me a message from Dr. Duff, so why don't you tell me the real reason you've tracked me down?
I've been sent by the Brotherhood of Steel to ask for your help.
How very interesting. I wasn't aware that you people ever asked for anything. While I'm flattered that the Brotherhood of Steel would find me useful, I can't help but be wary of your methods and motivations. Perhaps if you were more specific, we could come to some kind of a mutual understanding.
It's classified. but I can tell you it involves Liberty Prime.
Liberty Prime? Why does that sound so familiar? Ah, I remember now. I believe it's some kind of an enormous robot. Well, I'm not sure what types of people you normally deal with, but I certainly won't walk blindly into a situation without all of the details.
Maybe this'll change your mind.
Intriguing. So, your technicians must use these to calibrate Liberty Prime's internal power system. It's quite an ingenious little device, but it could use some work. All right, you've got a deal. I'll wrap up my collecting trip and meet you at your headquarters. Now, if you'll excuse me, I still have a few loose ends to tie up before I leave. Let me finish up here, and I'll meet you at the airport.
This area has obviously been abandoned for quite some time. Remain vigilant. I know they're still here.
The use of force against customers is strictly prohibited.
Excuse me, Proctor Ingram.
Well, things are off to a good start. Isn't that right, Professor?
You call this a good start? This poor thing's memory core was completely corrupted. Haven't you people ever heard of inertial dampeners? Titanium shock casing? It won't be easy, but I should be able to make a few modifications and get his basic functions online. If you can keep your inept scribes from slowing me down.
Charming, isn't she?
Did we make a mistake asking her to help?
No, don't worry about it. We might not be best buddies, but we'll get the job done. Besides, Skara's worth all the aggravation. I've never seen someone so proficient with Prime's power systems. She's already saved us weeks, maybe months of work. In fact, we're ready for you to start building his electromagnetic actuators.
You're acting like I know what those are.
Oh, I know you haven't the faintest idea what I'm talking about. I just like watching you squirm. The actuators are what allows Liberty Prime's arms and legs to move. Prime's new limbs are way too heavy for the simple hydraulic pistons he had in the past. We're gonna have to rip those out, construct a brand new system using electromagnets, and install them in his limbs. What we need you to do is build the actuators for us.
All right, Ingram. Enough with the school lessons. Here's a list of materials you'll need. and the plans to make the actuators.
Now, before you get that look on your face, you'll be happy to know that we have plenty of the raw materials on that list right here at the airport. The only thing we need you to head out and find is a high-powered magnet. According to Proctor Quinlan, the best place to find one is in any of the ruined hospitals around the Commonwealth. We've already sent out a few teams to find the rest of the high-powered magnets you'll need. They should be back by the time you return.
Once you start building the actuators, we need one for each limb, so you'll need to make a total of 4. Good luck.